Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like tonight's film, which is a part 2 review. This is the second video for the review of Six Swedes at the ALM, or Six Swedes in the Alps. And this is from 1983 from the Erwin C. Dietrich collection. If you want to see part 1 of this video, it's just a few posts away. It's on this YouTube page, Six Swedes in the Alps. This is the second video part of this review because I had some additions that I wanted to also talk about for this particular film. So this is the part 2 of this video. I'm pretty sure nobody has ever probably done 2-part review of this film. So it's about time the 10 Room Bizarro did. Here it is right here. I had a couple things I wanted to add. I put some notes up here. There's some heavy-duty usage of mirrors in this film, and I thought that was very interesting because, of course, Erwin C. Dietrich's connections to Jess Franco and things like that, but sexploitation as a genre in general seems to utilize mirrors a lot. And there is a sex scene in this film that is completely through a mirror. And so interesting that during it, I did not realize I was looking through a mirror. And it was pretty obvious. I mean, if you look at it like logically. And it wasn't until kind of the second time I revisited some of the scenes where I said, that whole thing was in a mirror. And it was directed first away from the mirror, then the character looking in the mirror, and then stayed in the mirror. So very interesting usage of mirrors. We have some dramatic kind of natural music in the film as well, and it's hard to describe it. I know I mentioned in the first review kind of jovial mountain music, but we have like this kind of beautiful, lush, serene, natural type of music in here as well that really fits with the environment of the Alps, the beauty and the serenity and the peace of the Alps, even though these 6 girls, there's this massive sexual energy and literal physical energy of people running in this film and wildness amidst that serenity. A couple wild things in this film that I thought was very interesting. There's that chocolate candy Toblerone, I think it is, Toblerone. That is utilized in people's mouths, interestingly. There's also sausage kissing, where there's a end of a sausage in each person's mouth, and even an egg on someone's face. Yes, an egg just for no apparent reason being smashed on somebody's face, kind of ending a scene, kind of ending a sexual montage, a section. Very, very crazy and interesting. We have some very picturesque, contemplative shots in this film, and I don't know, I mean, I don't believe it's stock footage. I don't think so. I mean, it looks like it's just real part of the film. I mean, these things look like postcards. There's this one shot in particular of these I guess maybe tulips and the background mountains. I mean, it's just unbelievable shots in here. Predominantly also at the beginning of the film, as the film is being set up before the sexual energy really kicks in. Even some great train sequences. And yes, there's even narration in this film. The film kind of has narration at the beginning of the movie. Now, if we look at another review I did for Six Swedes on Campus, you have a character in the film doing the narration, but in this particular film, you just have a narrator at the beginning with a pretty dark sense of humor and kind of a winking eye. But a winking eye and a tongue-in-cheek type of vibe is much more interesting when the film's a little bit more explicit like this one. We have unbelievable aerial shots in this film because we do have a helicopter in this film in a section of the movie. You never thought that sexuality and a helicopter could go together, but you will see it in this film. Amazing aerial shots. And as I said, I believe in the first video, really amazing distant shots in this film of characters looking like ants, you know, those types of shots. There is a spatial sexual energy in this film, and sexual energetic shenanigans and definite freedom in all of that. With all of that as well, we also have cows cows and sheeps throughout the film also, or in sections, at least at the beginning. So animals would definitely play a role just in the environment of the Alps and the environment of the small town. Um, I had a moment in this film, and I don't really recall, but I had a moment in this film that reminded me of what was done in Slumber Party Massacre, with the Sorority House Massacre series, where they're kind of taking things from another movie and redefining it. They were taking something from this film from the other film I reviewed, Six Swedes on Campus, and I believe they were kind of redefining it. And there are different girls in that film, and they kind of incorporated that into the story of this one. Now, what I didn't 100% realize until I did some research is that this is the last of the Six Swedes films. So this was 1983, and there's still a handful more that I'll be reviewing on this YouTube page in the future, whenever. So this was actually the last one. Now, something that's really interesting also is that if you look up the actresses in this film, the Six Swedes in this film, this looks to be the only film they ever did, except for one of them, who had a very lengthy adult career, and I've posted her picture on my on the Facebook page. But the rest of them, you can find nothing about them, and this was their only movie, which happens a lot for the sexploitation genre, for the erotic genre, but not for the hardcore adult genre. Typically, they've done other hardcore films. Since this exists in its own world between softcore and hardcore, kind of touching on both on a harder level, definitely. Only having one actress that had another career is very interesting. The rest of them, and I have no idea what their names are because the names are just kind of plastered at the beginning, and a very, very serene, elegant, and tongue-in-cheek opening title sequence in this film as well. So this was my part 2 for Six Swedes and the ALM, otherwise the Alps. 1983 Erwin C. Dietrich collection. Thank you so much for watching the 2 videos for this movie. If you didn't see the first one, definitely check out the first one if you have interest, because I talk a lot more about the movie at length. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Six Swedes at the ALM. Good night.